Here, the head coach of the Cavaliers, Damron. Coach, you wrap up the season this week at the University of Charleston, a Thursday night game. Be a 7 p.m. kickoff up there against the Golden Eagles. But today, I'd really rather talk about the season and how things have gone and how you would evaluate the first year here, 6 wins here going into the last week of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've exceeded expectations. I don't think we've reached all our goals, just simply because, we want to win every game. And we knew coming in that, that we were going to be fighting an uphill battle and teaching these kids how to practice and how we wanted them to practice, I should say, and how we expected them to play, how we expected them to behave on campus and in their meetings and everything. It was just a total program culture change, and I'm pretty pleased with where that's gone. I think we've played good in some games. I think we've been fortunate in some games, and we're happy, to be sitting here 6-4. But we sure would like to go up there and get one this week. I promise you that.
Coach, something that we really don't talk about a lot, we really stick to football, but outside of football, your kids have been involved in the community with some reading programs here in the local schools. If you could touch on that a little bit and how you've got the kids in your program out in the community and getting involved with these youngsters.
Well, it helps when your wife was a teacher at one of the elementary schools. So we were able, getting into Norton Elementary School was no issue at all. And then, Danny Sterling's wife works there at Wise Primary. So we had two good contacts there where we were able to get our kids into those schools. And, the kids really liked it. And we've got to make sure that, we try to do a better job of trying, to get up there to the combined school up in Pound, and we need to try to get into Coburn, into Appalachian, and into Big Stone Gap in future to make sure that we're hitting all of Wise County and getting our kids a chance to get out and see the youth and read to them, because I think that's very important. That if we're going to create excitement about our football program, we've got to do that in all of Wise County. And once we get it started here in Wise County, we feel like we can take it more into Southwest Virginia. So it's been a good thing. Our kids have really enjoyed it. They've had a chance to go to a couple of ice cream socials and serve ice cream to the kids at Norton Elementary School. So it's been very good, and that's something that we want to continue to do and look for ways to make sure that our kids are out and about in the community.
Coach, you've got a group of seniors, and you've only had them for 1 year, but this is their final game. If you could touch on them a little bit and what they meant to you in this program, and you've talked about this a lot, developing those guys into young men who can be productive fathers and husbands and members of society.
Yes, I think it's been a good year. The very first meeting we had, I told them that, first of all, none of them chose for this to happen, but I chose to come and be their football coach. And it was very important to me to get across to those young men that they're my football team, and no matter if I recruited them or what, I wanted them to have some success. And I told those seniors at that time, I want to make sure that you look back on your senior year and you can be proud of what you accomplished your senior year, and I think that they've done that, and they've bought into what we're trying to get across to them. They've worked hard, they've prepared well, and so I think that's been very important. And hopefully that all these seniors have seen in me, that I've been a sermon in shoes, and it's easy to talk about wanting them to succeed as husbands and fathers, but if I'm not modeling that and they're not seeing me around my wife and kids, that it's kind of a hollow message. And so, we're going to bring the seniors over to the house tomorrow night and have a little senior get together with them, and I'm looking very forward to that. And so I think it's been a good year. I think they've laid the groundwork for a successful football program, and hopefully they'll be able to come back in 4 or 5 years, and a couple of them will be married, and I'll get a chance to meet their beautiful brides, and a couple of them will have young ones, and I'll get a chance to meet their kids, and they'll be able to take what we've talked about in this football program and carry it forward. That's very important.
One senior, and we'll mention one specifically since he broke a NCAA all-time record. Zachary Blair last week sets a career tackles for loss record, and individual awards are nice, but I guess I want to ask you more. What does that do for the program to have somebody like that you can point to that's a career record holder in all of NCAA Division II football?
Well, I think it's good because when you look in the record book, there's going to be a UVA Wise person in the NCAA Division II record book, and we've only been there a couple of years, and so to have that there that's pretty good for us. And the thing that I'm happy about it for Zach, because Zach and I talked about it before the year started. I said, Zach, your numbers may be down, but our wins are going to be up, and that's what he wanted. There's no doubt he wanted to break the record, and he should want to break the record because we've all got personal goals and personal milestones that we're trying to get as football players, as football coaches, and so I was glad that he was able to get that and us have a winning season. And so we're sending him out on the right note. I know Thursday night, when we go to Charleston, he's going to play hard and he's going to leave it all out on the field. He's going to be one of those that we're going to have to drag him off the field on Thursday because that's just the kind of kid he is. Zach's he's had an emotional year. It started with not on the best note, but hopefully that we'll be able to go out there and send him out a winner.
I know you can tell me exact numbers, but I know we're north of 35 of our top, say, 45 players coming back on this team. Expectation, goals, and things you have in mind for these guys to do to get better over the offseason.
Well, we've got to have a great offseason. There's no question about that. Our kids have got to understand that we've got to have a great winter in the weight room. We've got to get our kids more developed and looking like college football players, because every week we take the field, I look across the team we're playing, I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to play that team, because our kids don't look like their kids, and they've got to understand that it's not just about getting in there and pushing weight around. It's eating right, getting good sleep, and taking care of their body. It's a total, it's a total thing. And Coach Burton and I believe are on the same page, and we're going to have to push these kids harder than they've ever been pushed, and understand that we've got to get bigger and stronger. And I think that's the most important thing. We'll set goals and expectations for the winter program before we worry about goals and expectations for the 2017 season. Because the month of January, when we get done here on Thursday, our coaches will start hitting the road and going out and trying to find the next signing class, and we've got to make sure that our offensive linemen put some weight on and get stronger. Same thing with the defensive front. We've got to make sure academically, we're hitting the books. We like where we stand right now with some of the kids that aren't playing this year because of academics or because we redshirted them, but we got to make sure that those kids are ready to rock and roll and they're eligible to go.
Coach, a win Thursday would give this team 7 victories, and this is our 26th season of football here, and we've only won 7 or more games 5 times. If you think about that and put it in that context, if you could win 7 in the first season, that's one of the top 25% seasons we've had here. Is this really what you had in mind? Obviously you have the expectation of winning all 11 games when the season starts, but you inherited a program that had won 5 games in 3 years. You've got to be more than pleased with the results you've seen this year.
Well, yes. I would be foolish not to sit here and say that. I want to win them all, just like you said, and I think after the season's over, you can sit back and reflect and see what we really had the opportunity to accomplish this season. I'm still smarting from that one Saturday, and so we thought we had a chance to win that one Saturday, and we let that one get away from us. But what we'll try to go up there to Charleston and get this one. As you said, I had no idea that we'd be in the top 25% and wins if we get that, and that's good. I would like to get that for our seniors. The main thing is I want our kids to understand, that this is the most important game they've ever played, just because it's the next one, whether it's for a national championship, or it's it's to win your 7th game. It's the most important game you've ever played because it's the next game on the schedule, and these seniors, for probably 99.9% of these seniors, this is going to be the last game they ever play of football. And so I want to try to make sure that we send them out, and then once the season's over, Darryl, we'll have the chance to sit and reflect and look back and see what we did good, what we did bad. Am I happy with 6 wins? Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that, but I'd be thrilled with 7, and that's where we're going to try to get.
Coach, good luck Thursday, fans. If you're not making it up to Charleston, you can listen on FM 92 The Wolf or listen online on WDICradio.com. Pre-game show begins at 6:30. Good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Darryl.